Um, I wanted to ask you guys about today's meeting, and maybe we can do this on a regular basis. But what's going on today in City Council news?
Well, for me today, you got the chance to see city government as it works and operates. Of course, we start with the agenda. We do have items. We had a number of items that were consented, and that means that we basically all agreed that those items should be moved forward. A lot of what you saw on today's agenda were weed abatement items that deal with community development and our infrastructure. And this would be inoperable vehicles, weed abatement where we're going and having to cut those lots. And so I would like the residents to look at our agenda. It becomes available every Friday in the afternoon prior to the Tuesday meeting. And so you see most of the information that we're seeing, other than some of the legal documents that are not available for the public prior to the time that we consider the agenda.
And where can people get that
and
agenda?
They can see that at birminghamal.gov. Again, it does come out on Friday afternoon, so you have a full weekend to look and see. And I'd like for residents to see what items we're actually considering. And basically, each counselor takes that information home on Friday, and the majority of us, I think each counselor looks at that before Tuesday. You have an opportunity to ask questions, get any additional information you may need from administration. And so you saw some appointing of different boards and agencies today, and you did see some action between the council on one item that we decided to delay and give the committee an opportunity to look at that. We do have various committees that we work with among our counselors. Typically we have, I believe, 7 committees now, and you have a chair or 2 co-chairs and then 2 other council members that work on those committees. This is where we're doing the work. Typically you may see some organizations have work sessions, and so during the month we have these committee meetings, and this helps us to get other information so that we can make a good educated vote, and we have all the information before us as we make that vote.
I noticed that there was a special session, or whatever you call it, meeting of the whole, or whatever, closed door meeting. And although you can't talk about what was discussed, can you tell us what is that? What, when you guys go in closed session, can you explain that?
A lot, it has to do with when you go into an executive session, you often hear Attorney King, reference the law according to the state of Alabama. So that means that some type of pending litigation or something like that is going on. So I wholeheartedly agree with Madam President when you did see us take a lot of action. Today one item was referred, back to committee. That's just basic government. Like she said, it's 7 committees. We all are entrusted to chair a committee. You did see me in action with item 1, which was a public safety item that was referred to by public safety, but I delayed it for 4 weeks because the things that we talked about in committee that the applicant needed to do had not been done. So we're giving them an additional 4 weeks, to rectify and straighten out some zoning issues. So as Madam President said, you saw some great interaction. That's what you just call good government. As she stated, most of the items we voted on, were consented, which gives us an opportunity on Friday to review the council agenda and read the attachments, that's been sent with the agenda, the items, so you can understand what is going on. And she said we welcome the public, to use, because we want the public to know we're not a rubber stamp. We do read, and when you seeing us agreeing on something, people have the right, to pull items off consent, to have this open dialogue and this discussion. So we want people to, to know, that is going on. I think, being, we have a great leader with President Alexander. I've watched her, during my tenure over the last 4 years, conduct meetings very well. And I just think with myself and her as a dynamic duo, we're going to be a collision, a force to be reckoned with. So we're going to bring some good leadership, good quality things to the council. And we got some great colleagues here that we think, will support and take into consideration what they bring to us and, that they want to see from us as leaders. So I'm here to support, the president, making sure that, we do bring good governance and great leadership, and making sure that we working to the best of our ability, to change all 9 neighborhoods.
Now, go ahead.
I just
All
want to
9 districts.
on what Pro-Tem has said, and it's the transparency, and I just want residents to feel they don't have all the documentation that we have for the agenda, but because sometimes it is certain social and demographic information that cannot be shared with the public at that time. But this is the information we use to consider the item and to come to a fair and representative opinion about the item. I do want to go back to executive session. Often I see comments that people feel that we're going into chamber, we're talking about something secret, along with it being a state law that we're allowed to do that. Sometimes we're talking about, as well as litigation, pending litigation, we can talk about good name and character. And so those are things that we always want to be sure that we do that in a closed setting. We do not deliberate. We go into those sessions to receive additional information. And so that's why you'll find out, typically we'll have action following that. But when we're in executive session, is to get more information so that we can come back out and make a fair and a assessment of what has been put before us so that we can make that decision.
Thank you. And I'm gonna pay attention. That is exactly what a lot of people say and think. And I'm gonna pay attention and bring you some of them questions that people ask. Yeah, I think that would be interesting. Well, we had to get some business out of the way, but it's time to talk a little pleasure. What are you doing for the holidays and Thanksgiving, personally and in your district? Or, and also a message for the holidays. People are going through so much, some good, some bad. So just your message for the holidays.
Well, I just want to greet everybody with, a great happy Thanksgiving. We were able to, as many of us in our district was able to also have, Thanksgiving holiday giveaways. What we did, I did 400 families. We were able, as a collective, along with the administration, to get $1 million across the finish line for those that are on SNAP. So the goal for me is what's beyond, giving somebody, a hot meal on the table for Thanksgiving. What is the goal for me beyond? I think I've shared this with Madam President, is thinking about how do we sustain people all year long. And that may be a partnership, continue the partnership with the mobile market. You have Kroger, that's a delivery service. You have another mobile market, Mercy Ministries with Tony Vine. So even you got the Fountain Heights Farms, even just doing that type of investment where we are able to continue, providing fresh produce and fresh food for people all year long, not just when it's a holiday. So I do want to make sure that we are being very intentional, about that. The council alone can't do that. So this is why our partners come in. Like, we want to thank, again, Serious Injury Law Firm for being a great partner coming out in the community this weekend with us to make sure, that people had things that they needed, getting prepared for the holidays, because we do know that the government, proved to the nation that, they don't care at all costs what they'll do. But we have to learn that this is an opportunity for everybody to turn back, to God, and an opportunity for communities to come back and bond like we grew up on, like I'm pretty sure Madam President, her grandparents, everybody knew everybody. Just people getting to know that. Check on people, check on your folk. Please check on your people. So that's the spirit and the heart that I want to operate in. Not just because it's a holiday, but just all year around. I do have some things, coming up, for the Christmas holidays. I shared it with Madam President and the new colleague, Councilor Smith. Since we all kind of like bumped into the footprint together, how can we move as a collective? To be very impactful. And I'll yield for to Madam President.
Well, no, I want to thank Madam Pro-Tem. Again, I appreciate her loyalty and her support, and I look forward to really serving with you in this capacity. We
Yes,
served
ma'am.
together as counselors 4 years ago, and so I'm delighted to serve with you in this leadership role. As she said, for the holidays, I think you saw not only Counselor Tate in my office, but just about every counselor had some type of giveaway, and also we all collectively have supported our residents through our actions with the $1 million that we gave in support of providing SNAP benefits. And so I hope residents also saw that sometimes when your state and local leadership does not lead the way, it's your state and federal leadership does not lead the way. You saw the local municipality, the city of Birmingham, step in, roll up our sleeves, work with our community partners. And so I'm just excited. I think going into this holiday season, it really made me feel good as a local elected official, and with the work of our colleagues and the leadership of our mayor, and again, those local partners.
Yes.
So we had an opportunity to complete our 7 days of giving, which we do each year in District 7. So I'm grateful to have been able to offer that to those residents. We had 17 families that we gave a complete meal prep for the Thanksgiving holiday. So I hope those families will enjoy that on behalf of District 7 and the city of Birmingham. And then those 558 families that were gifted with putting a hen on their table. And we couldn't have done that alone. We had some great community partners that helped us do that. What will I be doing for Thanksgiving? Something I've been doing for the last few years now. I'm going to be at Turkey Day and be cheering on my favorite team, and I hope your favorite team will be there as well. So I'm wishing each family a happy and blessed Thanksgiving, whether it's one or many that will be sitting at your table. I just want to please pray for blessings and joy for our city and our residents.
And I second President Alexander. I have never been to Turkey Day, but I did see some entertainment, and I am a Stokely Williams fan. So I saw Stokely say he was going to be in Montgomery, so I may just be hitting 65 South and going down there, to the Acadon
There you go.
on Wednesday. But as far as me, my family, my mom, will be doing some light cooking, and I'm sure that my brothers will be coming over. So we'll probably have people coming in and out, but we usually kind of like rest up on Thanksgiving. So I'm gonna be checking on people, and again, we want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays. We were glad that we were able to, as Madam said, 550 plus hens, and then we did 400 plus all the fresh, produce, greens and sweet potatoes and onions and bell pepper, giving people that kickstart what they needed. So I'm grateful, I was able to do that. And the goal again is to sustain it all year long. So once again, happy Thanksgiving, and we just look forward to continue being a blessing, to all 9 districts as a collective.
And may the good tide roll.
And may the good tide roll it.